Here we have the all-new 2023 Chevy Colorado ZR2. Now this has the Desert Boss Special Edition package on it. It's like $9,300, but comes in sand dune metallic. And then we have the jet black and Artemis perforated leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 2.7 liter high output turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. That's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, as we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps and LED daytime running lights. We also have our LED fog lights there. And then I have the light bar on. That's part of that Desert Boss package. So yeah, this is just, I'm gonna show you all the window sticker here in a minute, but this is so cool that I get to review one of these, because just a cool looking truck. But as we come around to the wheels here, these are gonna be 17-inch aluminum. We have the nice high clearance footsteps there, excuse me. Power door lock controls, memory seat controls. We have one touch down on all 4 doors, then we have power up and down on the driver's side, or one touch up and down, excuse me, on the driver's side, and then power mirror controls are there. A bottle holder, trailer brake controller, hood release. There's the release for the manual tilt and telescopic steering wheel. And then here we have our power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. I love that Artemis. It's just a good look, especially on this sand dune metallic, but it's just a good look on every interior. Can't get enough of that light bar though, that's pretty neat. And I'm not gonna test out the rear seat room. It's okay, but it's still, if you're used to the older Colorados, not much has changed there. This thing had so many accessories that the boxes are scattered all over the place. But seat back pocket there, rear AC vents, a USB-C, USB-A charge port, and then we do get a 3-prong 110 or 120 volt household plug-in. So I wasn't expecting that. Nice to have. Bottle holders are there, and then you can fold this middle seat down if I can get it. And then you have bottle holders there as well. So you can actually pull that. You have to do it with 2 hands, so I gotta use my knee, but you can release. Then you have a little bit of storage under there, but it's like a jack and all that's underneath. And then fuel fillers there. And to the back end, just love that. I love how the taillights on the side are they look brighter than they might be. I don't think those are actual LEDs, but I could be wrong. But if they are, you don't see that on many Colorados. But I mean, this is a 65 grand sticker Colorado ZR2. So if anything should have it, it should be this. And you all can argue in the comments if you think it's worth that money. But we have a 3-prong 120 volt back here to go with that one for the second row. But just a really good looking truck, I think. You can see the clearance there. There's a spare exhaust. And out of the front passenger seat, it's manual, so manual seat back, manual seat bottom. Things like that kind of disappoint me when you pay this much money. It's not power, but a lot of this stuff, what drives the price up on these is not necessarily things that you can see. But we can read on the window sticker, so I'm gonna show you that right now. Excuse me, I'm running out of breath today. So y'all can pause anywhere you need to take a closer look at anything. But that Desert Boss Special Edition, see all that you get there. You even have a winch, wow. Huh, that's pretty neat. And then the convenience package, which I highly recommend. And then I have not seen a Colorado with a sunroof in years, so that's pretty cool. But my gosh, 64,370, and look at that fuel economy with a 4-cylinder, even a high output one, 16 miles per gallon city and highway. But if you're getting one of these, you don't care about that. Now go in here, and there's that 2.7 liter high output 4-cylinder. It's turbocharged. And it's freezing out here as the sun goes down, so let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So we do get a nice leather wrap steering wheel. There's the horn. Now over to the radio, we get this 11.3-inch infotainment system. Audio, we get AM, FM, XM. Then we also have Bluetooth, and then we have a USB port. We get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility wirelessly. Dual zone automatic climate controls, which we can control from the screen. And then we have a ton of buttons and knobs down here. This is pretty busy because we have the heated, cooled seats that are 3 stages, but it doesn't bother me that much. Once you get used to it, it's just, everything's the same and they're all the same color, but whatever. And then we do get a wireless charging pad, which I'm using right now, and it kind of shows you that in that icon there, which is pretty neat. Now we do have the Google Maps, so you have to have a plan to use that to the full effect. Settings here, we can go to the system, change our language, units, all of that, because you can't do much in the actual gauge cluster just for how this new system is set up. So another thing to realize is to activate your headlamps, you kind of have to have the screen on. So go to controls here. You can control your power window lockout, automatic high beams, the fog lights, park assist, hill descent, and then click here and you can go to your lights and whatnot, which you can actually adjust from here, but you have to go into a setting to do so. It gets annoying, but it could be worse. And then we also have the vehicle status that you can pull up here. We have an air down mode, which is cool if you're going to take this on some serious off-roading. But you can click on the graphics to kind of pull things up. We have the tire pressure monitors, fluids, different temperatures for different things, trip meter, even a G-force reader. So just interesting. And there we have the front camera, and where that front bumper is, you can see kind of where it's a kind of a blind spot, but backup cameras there, guidelines follow you to turn the steering wheel, front camera, curbside views, etc. A bunch of different stuff. Wow, you actually have the underbody cameras too. Now that's neat. Like in the Hummer EVs, you can pull that up, so that makes off-roading a bit more doable, I guess, for your ground clearance. But down here, differential locks, auto stop, hazards, lane keeping system with lane departure. There's your aux, and then I believe that's what the light bar is wired up to. And then you can let down all your windows at once. USB-C, USB-A charge port. For the shifter, hit the lever, reverse, neutral drive, low, and then you can manually shift there, the limiter, and it'll show you what gear you're in that bottom of the screen there. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage, and then you turn this knob to go through your drive modes, or you can click within each of these to actually use your 4-wheel drive. So normal, off-road, tow haul, terrain, Baja. And then center console cubby space, decent. And you have that removable tray up there for the small stuff. Now for almost 65 grand, I think GM has a lot of nerve not putting LED dome lights in here, but whatever. We do get that power sunroof we can tilt, and then we can also slide. So that's one touch there. And then we can one touch close it as well. In view of the back seat, we have a sliding rear window, but that is also manual, but okay. Now back to the steering wheel, cruise control. We do get adaptive, so we can turn that on or off there, cancel, adjust speed, adjust the gap adjust for the forward collision alert, as well as the adaptive cruise. And then we do have voice recognition. We can go through our audio sources by hitting this button and then scrolling up or down here. And then Bluetooth controls are there. Heated steering wheel, so that's pretty nice. And then you can hold this button to actually go through your different views for your gauge cluster. So gauge 1, 2, or 3, you can toggle between those. Windshield wiper controls, hit that once just to wipe the windshield, and then push all the way in, you get that fluid as well. And then you can adjust your wipers here, intermittent, low, high, and then you can toggle your high beams there and flash there. But push button start is here, and I'm gonna give you one more look as the sun's gone down. I have the fog lights on. I should be able to get a better look of the front end with everything on here. So there she is, the light bar and everything. So just a menacing look going down the road there, or going off the road. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2023 Colorado ZR2 Desert Boss out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Colorado ZR2, you definitely feel like you are in a lifted Colorado as opposed to driving just a standard 23. I've driven a couple of those, and this one just feels much more aggressive. So that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm gonna try and lean the seat back to get a wider angle. Now I don't want to give it too much throttle, but this has a few miles on it, so I'm gonna let it have just a little bit as I get on the interstate here if I can. So here we go. So it certainly gets up to speed with ease. And I have the adaptive cruise on now, cruising at 76. So pretty good at holding the speed there. And of course it'll keep that safe distance between yourself and the vehicle in front of you. Now you are supposed to get 16 miles per gallon city, 16 highway. Now with it pushing these off-road tires and everything, that's probably why that and the lift is why the fuel economy is not great. But if you're coasting downhill or something, that'll probably be where you see some astronomical numbers. So I'm sure this varies quite a bit, just depending on where you're driving. But road noise, of course, is pretty prevalent. Nothing terrible, but it is there. In a good way for most people, I think. Now, I do think this is a pretty expensive truck to be $65,000. I mean, you have a 4-cylinder, turbocharged 4-cylinder, but I mean a 4-cylinder engine. And then on top of that, you have an 8-speed automatic transmission. And usually for that kind of price point, you don't see that kind of powertrain. You usually see like Audi twin turbo V6s or something like that. But in this scenario, it's still quite an impressive setup here. I mean, it's really quick. It sounds great. And I'm sure with everything that comes on this ZR2 Desert Boss, it's pretty capable in off-road scenarios. But again, it's a pretty high price point. I don't know if Tacoma's gonna release something like this. I would expect the Ranger Raptor, if that does come out, when it comes out, to be around this price point. Will the powertrain be a little bit better? I don't know. Now I will say, again, $10,000 of that 65 grand sticker is the Desert Boss Special Edition, so 55 grand still gets you a ZR2. But I don't know, I like the Desert Boss package with all you get there, just how menacing it looks, having that light bar there. It's just, I think it's sick. But all in all, if you're looking for something like this, you know what it is, you know what you can expect to pay. So it's still an impressive truck. Now, is it worth the money? That's up to you to decide. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2023 Chevy Colorado ZR2 Desert Boss.